Hello, hello. Today we shall be today we shall be developing regression model, and here I have three variables such as investment, export, and GDP. Okay, and here, investment, export, and income, I have these three variables, and here income is the dependent variable, right? While income is the dependent variable, while just 1 minute, I make it big, I make it 14. Income is the dependent variable, while investment and export are the independent variables. So here we have three variables: income, you can see from here, and investment and export. Okay, so now what I do, I estimate the regression model. So here I click on the data, right? Here is data. I click on the data, and here I select data analysis, that I select. Okay, and from here I select regression. You can see from here regression, I select it and I press OK. Okay, now here you can see input Y range. So actually input Y means dependent variable, and input X means independent variable. And here I select label, because if I select label, then variable name will appear. So that is why I am selecting labels, this one. Okay, then I am putting my cursor here and I select income, because that is my dependent variable. So I selecting, you can see from here I'm selecting. So the first one is the dependent variable, and the second one is the input X is the independent variable. So first I put my cursor here, then I select my two independent variable, and that is investment and export. Okay, now we are set, we are ready, we can estimate the model now. So I select OK, and this is my result. What I do, I make it big slightly so that you can see better. Right, I make it big. Right, MS F significant. Okay, and here, and here is the problem. The problem is that actually the same thing is here. So I delete this second two column because they are the same thing. So I delete it and I make it big, all the things, so that you can see better. Okay. Okay. And then I zoom it slightly. As a result, you can see better. I go to view and zoom. I make it 130%, right? So it has become big now, right? It has become big, 130%. So that is the outcomes of result. Summary output has come up, and this is my ANOVA, and this is my main model. Okay. Okay, here you can see our dependent variable is income, and I have two independent variable. One is in investment and one is export. Okay, and this one is the constant of the model. Okay, here this one is the coefficient, this one is the standard error, this is t statistics, and this one is the corresponding p-value, probability value. Okay, I'm giving example. Suppose talk about export, right? Okay, here the t statistics is how much? Here t statistics is 3.19, that is t statistics. Okay, how to get this t statistics? Actually, this means, this t statistics means coefficient divided by standard error, you can get the t statistics, that is 3.19. And also this one, t statistics minus 1.33, how to get it? Coefficient divided by standard error, you can get the t statistics. Okay, that is the way to get the t value. Okay, and here our dependent variable is income. Okay, that is our dependent variable. Okay, now the question is that whether our two variable, investment and export, they are significant or not to explain income. That is the question now. First I check investment. Is this variable significant to explain income? Here I check the p-value. How much is the p-value? The p-value is actually from here 0.2408644, meaning that actually this is 24.08%, right? 28.0%. Okay, and what is the guideline? If the p-value is more than 5%, then that particular variable is not significant. So meaning that our variable investment is not a significant variable to explain income. Okay. Then I check my second variable, export. So is it significant to explain income? I check our probability value. Here, how much is the probability value? 0.0242183, meaning that the value is becoming 2.4%. The p-value is 2.4%. And what is the guideline? The guideline is if the p-value is less than 5%, then that particular variable is significant. And if the p-value is more than 5%, then that particular variable is not a significant variable to explain the dependent variable. And here our export is 2.4% probability, meaning that export is a significant variable to explain income. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing, here you can see our export variable, the sign is positive, the coefficient sign is positive, meaning that when export goes up, income also goes up, and when export goes down, income also goes down, because here the sign is positive. Okay. Then our another variable, investment, here the sign is negative, meaning that the coefficient sign is negative, meaning that when investment goes up, income will go down, or when investment goes down, income will go up, because the sign is negative. But the problem is that this variable is not a significant variable, because the probability is 24.08%, which is more than 5%. So our variable, this variable, which is a investment, actually not a significant for this model, right? But export is significant and the sign is positive, right? That means export significantly influence income, and the direction is positive direction. Okay, that is one part. Okay, then I check ANOVA. What is, okay, now so then I check adjusted R square. What is called, no sorry, I check R square. What is the value of R squared here? The value of R square is here. I'm sorry, I make it big. The value of R square is actually 71.70%, right? This one, 71.70%. Okay, the question is that what does mean by R square? Okay, it means that I'm telling, it means that 71.70% variation or fluctuation in income, that is our dependent variable. 71.70% variation or fluctuation in income can be explained by our two independent variables such as investment and export. Okay. Okay. So meaning that, in other words, I can say investment and export jointly can influence 71.7% variation in income, meaning that this model is highly fitted, good fitted model. And what is called and the rest what is rest means 100% minus 71.70%, and that is becoming how much? About 29%, right? Okay. And the rest 29% fluctuation in income, right, can be explained by other variables which are not taken into this model, meaning that outside variables can influence 29% fluctuation in income, right? But here, and this 29% is actually, we call it this 29% as the residual of the model, right? Okay. But here the model is nicely fitted because 71.70% fluctuation in income can be explained by our two variable, that is investment and export, right? Investment and export. So we are happy about the model, right? So normally we say if the value of R square is more than 60%, we can accept the model, right? Because so normally 60% is more than 60%. We say that model is nicely fitted. Okay. Then we check about ANOVA analysis. You can see this one, F statistics and the probability value of F, right? Okay, here what is the null hypothesis, right? The null hypothesis is, I write the null hypothesis here. Our null hypothesis is that our two variables such as investment and export jointly cannot influence our dependent variable, which is income. That is the null hypothesis. I say cannot. Okay, and what is the alternative hypothesis? These two variables jointly can influence our dependent variable, which is income. Okay, so that is my null, that is my hypothesis setting. Okay, now I check the probability value. Here you can see the probability value, right? So this one is the probability value. Here the probability value is actually coming up, it is 4.25%, right? So that is the probability value. And what is the guideline? If the probability value is less than 5%, we can reject the null hypothesis and can accept the alternative hypothesis. But if the p-value is more than 5%, we cannot reject null hypothesis, rather we accept null hypothesis. So that is the guideline. And here our p-value is 4.25%, which is less than 5%, meaning that I can reject the null hypothesis and can accept the alternative hypothesis, meaning that I can reject the null, right? I can reject the null and can accept the alternative, meaning that investment and export jointly can cause our dependent variable, that is income, and that is desirable, and that we want actually. Okay, actually this model, the model is good. Why? Because F statistics is significant. As a result, investment and export jointly significant to explain income. So that is number one. So that is number one good sign of the model. We are happy about it. And secondly, the value of R squared is quite high, 71.70%. So the model is nicely fitted. So we are also happy. And thirdly, out of two variables, at least one is significant, that is export. So what is the guideline? The guideline is that if most of the variables are significant, then the model is a good model. But here, out of two, at least one is significant. So we are happy about this model. So actually this model is very good. We like this model. Thank you very much for being with me for a while.